Blackmore.
It's time to oil up. No, that's not what I meant. Welcome, folks, to another brand new episode of History Behind the Fighting Styles, Street Fighter Edition. Today's video, we'll be discussing one of Capcom's most unique Street Fighter characters in the Street Fighter 4 era. The King of Virgin Olive Oil, the one and only Hakan. This oil wrestling champ is ready for action. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show, folks, as we discuss Turkish oil wrestling. Turkish oil wrestling, also known as Yalukarish, is a specific type of wrestling that is very popular in Turkey. The aim of the game is to take down your opponent by grabbing onto their body and using different techniques to bring them to the ground. Sounds simple enough, right? One of the unique things about Turkish oil wrestling is the fact that competitors wear leather trousers and get covered in olive oil before the match. This makes it difficult for opponents to get a grip on each other, which adds an extra level of challenge to the sport. So, how effective is Turkish oil wrestling in real life? Well, it's actually a very effective style of wrestling. The fact that competitors are covered in oil makes it difficult for their opponents to grab onto them, which means they have to rely on their quick reflexes and agility to win the match. Turkish oil wrestling requires a lot of physical strength, but it also requires mental strength and focus. It's important to note that Turkish oil wrestling is not just about brute force, but also about strategy and technique. Alright, folks, you know the drill. I may end up butchering some stuff that is in this next segment, so bear with me. It will be on the screen. The origins of Turkish oil wrestling date back to the 14th century, where it was first practiced by the Ottoman soldiers. They used this form of wrestling as a way to train for hand-to-hand combat in battle. Over time, it gained popularity and became a national sport in Turkey. The sport was initially called halvelik, which means wrestler's art in Turkish. The wrestlers were referred to as pehlivan, and they were highly respected members of Turkish society. Pehlivans were known for their strength, power, and skill on the wrestling mat. In the early days, Turkish oil wrestling was a sport that was only practiced by men. In fact, some regions of Turkey, women were not allowed to attend the matches. However, in recent times, women have been actively involved in the sport and have been competing in some international competitions. Turkish oil wrestling has a unique style that sets it apart from other forms of wrestling. Competitors wear traditional leather trousers called kispit, which are designed to protect the wrestler's legs during the match. Before the match, wrestlers cover themselves in olive oil. This makes it difficult for their opponents to get a grip on them and adds an extra level of challenge to all of the matches. In typical Turkish oil wrestling match, the goal is to bring your opponent down to the ground, like I've mentioned before. A wrestler can win the match by pinning his opponent's back to the ground or by taking control of his opponent's body and forcing him to concede. It is more than just a sport, it's also a cultural event. The wrestlers perform a traditional dance called persiv before the start of the match. They wear traditional costumes and are accompanied by a band that plays traditional Turkish music. Over time, Turkish oil wrestling became a popular sport in its own right. Today, it's considered one of the most popular sports in Turkey and attracts competitors from all over the world. International tournaments are held annually, and wrestlers from different countries come together to compete in this traditional Turkish sport. Hakan is a fun-loving character with so much personality in his moves. It's a shame we didn't get to see his return at all in Street Fighter V. But maybe there's hope for Street Fighter 6 in the form of DLC. It would be great to see what he's been up to over the 10 plus years in the new present timeline going on in the story, and see what else Capcom could come up with to complement his oil wrestling moves. But we'll find out what new characters and DLC we'll be getting after Season 1 concludes next year. So, if you made it towards the end of the video, thank you once again for taking your time to watch. Next week will be the channel update video alongside the new announcements for the Fighting Style series. Well, by the time you're seeing this, this is the new week that I was talking about. So be on the lookout for that channel update video. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already or a brand new viewer. I'll be dropping the Discord link for the 36 Chambers community too. I have recently created a Fighting Style discussion thread in there, so if you ever have video suggestions, just want to talk, or just another place to hang out, we do movie nights from anime, kung fu flicks, and play a variety of games together, not just fighting games. So, you have another place to hang out. This is Blackmore2323 signing out. Until next time, catch y'all in the next video. Peace!